Excellent. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sweat and Grime. You got Brian, you got Rick, you got Matt, as usual. And on the phone tonight, we have one of my hardcore, die-hard fans over at Diesel and Iron. We got Brandon Culpepper on the phone. How you doing this evening, Brandon?
Oh, I am absolutely wonderful.
What's life like over there in New York these days?
It is cold.
Dude, it's cold here.
It is.
Yeah, I think tonight's temperatures are supposed to be single digits or worse.
Ooh.
And
yeah.
we just had an ice storm yesterday, so that was fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to be single digits. I want to say our low tonight, the feels like, is -8.
It's miserable.
Yeah, it's not going to be fun.
Mine is -1.
Oh, we got you beat.
So we're all living in like Disney Frozen, movies.
Yeah, let it go.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've been saying that for a while. I don't know.
I think we just live here so we can say that.
Yeah, it's pretty much. It's basically so we can dry hump all the people in the southern states.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
just for something to complain about.
What's that? Oh, you're not Well, so let me introduce. So Brandon is, like I said, he's a diehard fan from the Diesel and Iron channel, and the reason we wanted to interview him tonight, you work at like a professional commercial grade sawmill, correct, Brandon?
Yeah, it's a little mom and pop sawmill that does flooring and cabinetry stuff.
Awesome. My world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I like this. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So Totten's already getting into it because this is finally delving into his realm, which, by the way, we are live on YouTube. If you follow Diesel and Iron on YouTube, we are live streaming this podcast. And I did want to give a shout out to Evelyn, who is listening and just donated $1.99. Evelyn, thank you very much. We really appreciate that. That was super kind.
That is awesome.
Absolutely awesome. So
I really hope that's not from my bank account.
Is that so? This is Miss.
It just costs you $25.
Yeah, to be Mrs. Culpepper.
Yeah, future Mrs. Culpepper. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Welcome.
So, I wish you wouldn't have said that because we might have encouraged more people to donate if they didn't know they were related to the guest.
Why are you the way that you are?
So that being said, how did you get into, give us a little background on your career history and how you came to be at the sawmill?
So when I was younger, I was always into heavy equipment. I remember when I was younger, they were redoing my street when I was like 5, and I was just amazed by all the equipment. And when my mom would come home from teaching, the guys were done, she would walk around and show me all of it, and it kind of just stuck. And then when I got into high school, my 11th grade, I was able to do it's called BOCES. It's I don't even know how to describe it. It's another school, and you can do natural resource occupation, you can do agriculture, nursing, cooking, computer stuff. I did the natural resource. So
I was going to say nursing. I thought you were going to do nursing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
I totally pegged you as a nurse.
Fish nuts and a ping pong guy.
I was going to say, yeah, like the nurse off of the Blink 182 cover.
Hey.
It's going way back.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So you just kind of wandered around, just got your eyes on the prize, and your mom helped you get down to that and walk around the neighborhood and see all the equipment, eh?
Yeah. Yep. And then our neighbor behind us at the time, going back a little bit, my neighbors behind us owns a construction company, and I was always playing with Tonka toys, and his wife was like my mom's midwife, I think she was, or helped her with
the birth interview.
pregnancy. Yeah. So when he had to go down to his shop for like a day, for like a Saturday, he would let me tag along, and I got to sit in an excavator and a dozer and a backhoe, which I know Brian loves.
Love
That was my first
backhoes
love
so
too.
much. Love it.
Yes, yes, hey, so did I. And so I got to play with those when I was a little kid. And then, fast forward, like I said, in high school, I did BOCES, and I did what's called NRO, the Natural Resource Occupation, and I got to sit in, or got to operate a backhoe and a mini excavator and a dozer and a skid steer and a log skidder and a dump truck. And
That's awesome.
Wow.
Now, this is through the public school
grader.
system, right?
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
right.
So I'm just going to stop you right there,
12th grade.
because it sounds like the education you got as a high schooler actually is more thorough than a lot of these trade schools we talk about.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, my teacher, Mr. Mason, who's an awesome guy, he taught us how to. Not in that way.
Thank you, Mr. Mason.
Yeah. He taught us how to. He taught us how to start them, how to operate them. We had this hill behind the school that we got to log, so we learned about logging. We did tree identification.
Wow.
So pretty much they hired all the students to do the planning.
Yeah.
For the future expansion of the school for free.
Right.
I love it.
Kinda, yeah. Like my class, we were the ones that when it snowed and they needed to move all the snow off of the property, we were the ones that went out and did that with the excavator, the dozer, the backhoe, the dump truck, the dozer, all that stuff.
What a great education.
Very cool.
Yeah, and of course my love was the backhoe, so I got to operate the backhoe all the time.
Nice.
I wish I could have learned the dump truck. I, for some reason, could never learn how to drive stick. I could get it in my head, but I never was able to practice enough.
The finesse, you got to get those gears right, and
yep. Our grader that we had was like a 1960s military grader, and he would want us to practice grading in this field in like first year, just creep along.
Mm-hmm.
And we're thinking like, oh, we're in first gear. And he's screaming at us, you're in second gear, you're in second gear. We're like, we're in first, damn it.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. And come to find out.
3?
Oh, yeah. I was probably, 16 or 17.
So you're just learning how to drive a car as you're learning how to drive this equipment.
Yeah. Yep. So, and you didn't need a license to operate all of that stuff, but there were times where we'd have to move our SUV that we would take out into the woods, and you needed a license for that.
Gotcha.
But we would take the bulldozer and we cross the street into the other property that we had called the pit. And, we would have to, get the rubber mats and the pieces of wood to lay across the street so we didn't damage the road.
Yeah.
But we were allowed to cross the street.
So they implemented proper practice of using equipment, which is awesome. All right.
Yeah. Yep. And I did that 11th and 12th grade. And
no, they drove the bulldozers through.
Yeah. Oops. It wasn't until Brandon's class went through. Literally.
Yeah. Senior
That's
prank.
right.
Senior prank.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you know if your school still has that program, or has it been phased out as so many of those programs have?
It's still there.
That's awesome.
Actually,
so cool.
They've got an adult program for your CDL. I think it's the Class B license.
All right.
I was thinking about doing that, but I was also thinking about doing, because we have a welding program there as well in automotive. And I'm like, man, I really want to get into welding. And I went to my boss recently and I'm like, hey, I don't have this money. Is there any way you could possibly sponsor me through this? I'll buy what I need, but I don't have the $400 up front. And he's like, you know what? I could probably do that, he said. He's like,
Now, is this your current boss, or going backwards in time?
Yep. Yeah. My boss at the sawmill, Dan Whiteman.
All right.
He was looking into it. Good old Grandpa Whiteman.
Yeah. You know what? We talked about that before the podcast. I think that's a good enough story. You need to fill in the audience as to what the little background there. Your boss's name is Whiteman.
Yep. And the sawmill is called Whiteman Lumber. And for people who don't know me, I'm half black and half white. So me being the, I guess, asshole that I am, will blatantly say like, "Oh, look, it's a black man handling the white man's wood all the time."
Dude, you made my day.
That is awesome.
I'm glad we went backwards.
Handling the white man's wood, or which aspect?
I will make fun of myself just to make other people laugh. So, like, it doesn't bother me. I refer to myself as a African. Guys, I do monster trucks on the side, and when I introduce myself, I'm like, "Hi, I'm Brandon, also known as the African," and the guys just just straight up piss themselves laughing at that. Right? That is the greatest nickname ever.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Very cool. So let's go back. So you are in the high school. You were learning how to have equipment, and then it went from where from that?
Then I went into a JUCO college, like a junior college, SUNY Delhi, and I did carpentry and masonry.
All right.
I did a year and a half there, and then I realized how horrible I was at math, which I kind of already knew. So I failed out of that, and then that's how I got into Whiteman, was because I knew somebody who was working there, and they're like, "Hey, we could use some help in the wintertime." And I went, and I kind of never really looked back.
All right.
I've left and have gotten fired and tried doing other things, but I always end up coming back to Whiteman.
Well, now that begs the question: with the uncomfortable spot you've put your boss in, did you get your job back by playing the race card?
I did not. Other guys
still keeping that one in your back pocket.
Yeah, for sure. Look, guys, the white man's got his one black guy here. He reached the quota.
Yeah, he needs you for those numbers the government tracks.
Yes.
Exactly.
Affirmative action in the workplace, man. But so you, where was I going to go with this? So you were at the mill. You're still at the mill, but so you went from the high school, learn how to do the heavy equipment and everything. Then you went to the sawmill after you did your junior college performance. So what made you not? You said math was your downfall, and that's what steered you away from going into the carpentry and masonry trades.
Like I can do basic math.
Yeah.
I've got a learning disability, like Jackson.
Yeah,
mine's more of mine's ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm not really interested in whatever it is, it'll take me a little bit longer to get a handle on it.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I love construction, the math part was just killing me.
Dude, I'm in your shoes right now, and it held me back for a while until I said, I'm done letting it hold me back. And I just, it takes me longer, but you know what?
Yep.
I do just as good or better than others. It just may take that extra couple steps to get the mathematical portion down. But yeah, if you don't do it, you're not going to learn it, but do it at your own pace now. This is the time to do it. But I'm glad to hear that it's worked out for you in some senses. Yeah.
And working at a sawmill, we still need to use math, to make sure the boards are thick enough or are wide enough or to learn grades.
That's what she said.
Big and thick. And, if I'm watching someone else learn how to grade and there's fractions, and I'm not under pressure, I can get those numbers really quick.
Yeah.
My problem is being on the spot and having to make that quick second decision.
Yep.
That's where I get hung up on.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they tried putting me on saws, and I can run them. I'm really bad at it because I'm not on it constantly. But I keep telling them, like, hey, guys, you know, what might take you 2 weeks to get might take me a month. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are they willing to work with you on that?
Yeah.
Or maybe you think there's a super trick that you need to know everything, and maybe they just know the trick, and there really isn't that much mathematical stuff, and maybe just freaking you out and holding you back. You get what I'm saying?
It could be.
Yeah. Because trust me, I'm that 100% all day, every day, still to this day.
But like, I can run the heck out of our edger and our trimmer, and I run our stacking machine. So I can make a pack 48 inches wide in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
And my boss, is just like, holy cow, you're really good at this. I'm like, yeah, well, you know, I'm on here all day long. I should be good at this.
Yeah.
When it comes to girth, Brandon, it's hard to beat Brandon.
Yes, it is. 48 inches on the dot.
Nice. So what does
What?
Oh, was it my Instagram?
What are you talking about, Rick?
Where did we go?
God, Rick's stalking me.
Yeah, I know. Rick's coming out of left field. Who the fuck?
Oh, all right,
Okay.
all right.
So
Thank you, Rick. This is good.
I'm just so lost right now.
One of my ex-girlfriends, when we were dating, I'd eat nothing but Sour Patch Kids, and so she started calling me a Sour Patch Kid. I can be an asshole to you, but like, I'm willing to tell you the truth. Like, hey, dude, like, you fucked up, or you know, like, you probably shouldn't have fucking done that. So like,
You done messed up, Aaron!
Yeah. So
that's where the Sour Patch Kids come in.
Yeah.
The rabbit hole is answered.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought Rick decided to try shrooms tonight. So
Yeah, right.
no, dude. I've never tried drugs.
So
I've never tried drugs. So it is.
you had to find what you loved.
Yeah.
And you've got a solid love of wood.
And working for the white man.
And working for the white man.
Working for the white man. Yeah. You know, and also while working at the mill,
Yes.
I also learned how to drive our loaders. So when our loader guy isn't there, I jump in it and I load the sawmill with wood and I pull it out, and you know, so I also get the love of working with a machine and working with wood. So
That's what she said.
Oh God, I'm gonna struggle the whole night with the sound effects.
I pull a lot of wood.
That was
Now, is
that was alarming.
the fiance saying the same, or is that just at work?
I plead the fifth.
Smart man. Smart man.
That's awesome. So, yeah, that's where I was gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah, paint us a picture.
So our day starts at 8 o'clock. I get there probably around like 8:15, 8:50. I sit in my truck because it's freezing out, and I'm like, man, do I really want to do this today? And I go down, and we have a morning meeting. We go over our cut list of, you know, what it is we're sawing that day, and how, you know, all the specs for it.
All
We
right.
see who's there and not there. And then, we go to our stations and, mine's normally on the trimmer. And, the saws start up, they send the wood, I trim it to length, and then I send it out. And I'm on that normally from 8 to 12 or 8 to 10, depending on the day. We have 4 shifts at like 2 hours each, or roughly 2 hours each.
Mm-hmm.
And then depending on how much wood we have stacked up, I will go out to our stacking machine and I'll have somebody lay.
Now, is that a woodchuck?
And,
Making sure how much wood could a woodchuck into your pile? If a woodchuck could chuck wood?
I would rather have woodchucks than some of the guys that we have.
Sorry. I just did. So before the wood goes in the trimmer, what type of wood is that? Is that pine? Is that oak? Is that maple? Is that cherry?
So we do hard maple, soft maple, red oak, cherry, ash, pine, hickory, hemlock.
Oh man, so you got a whole
sometimes white oak. Yeah. I think since I was home today because my son was home sick.
Mm-hmm.
As of Friday, we were doing red oak.
All right.
So we could do like 3 or 4 days worth of oak, and then we could do a week worth of hard maple, and then we could go into ash for 2 days or however many days it takes to solve what we have, or
Gotcha.
however much our bosses want us to solve.
Yeah.
We did pine once for 2 weeks straight.
Man, that must have been a mess.
Yes. We have our own kilns. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we have 6 kilns and a bunch of storage sheds. So we keep everything in house. We'll buy lumber in sometimes from the Amish.
All right.
And we'll regrade it, re-sticker it, which is what I do with the stacker shed. And then we'll re-dry it and then, use it.
Gotcha.
And we ship all over. We ship a lot of stuff out to like China. That's one of our, I think, biggest.
So you ship it to China for them to ship it back to us?
It goes on a boat out in international waters, and then they process it and bring it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
You got it.
No, it's mind-boggling to me that we do this instead of doing it all in house.
Oh no, this is a regular thing. There are massive ships that are out in international. Yeah. It's sad.
And so, where where are you in New York?
If anyone follows baseball, I am probably 45 minutes away from the Baseball Hall of Fame.
All right. Where's that?
And for those of us who don't,
Central New York in the Catskills.
All right. I have no idea where that is. Is that?
That I don't know. I can't say. Only because I don't know. Yeah.
So I've got a question for you, Brandon. I've always been curious.
Yeah.
It seems like so many of these sawmills are automated these days, or at least have a pretty high degree of automation. Yet you're talking about actually operating the saws. How much manual operation of the saws and the edgers and everything is there?
Quite a lot. I know we got a computer in the head saw, but ours isn't like a high techy where it'll take a picture of the end and tell you exactly what it is you can get out of it.
Yep.
So a lot of our stuff is the guy running it is the one making the decisions.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah. And so we've got a head saw, an edger, trimmer, 2 resaws just within the mill. So we use everything.
And do you run all those other pieces of equipment too, or is that kind of those are other people's jobs?
Other people's jobs.
All right.
We also have a debarker too. I forgot about that.
How can you forget about the debarker? That's the first process of the whole.
I know.
Making wood.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought you were professional, Brandon. I really thought higher of you.
You are sorely mistaken.
Why are you the way that you are?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure. I know we roughly do log-wise about 200 to 300 logs a day. We're a small mill. We're not like a big, heavy duty mill.
How many guys do you have working at the mill roughly?
I think they said in a meeting they had like 30 or 40. We used to have 50 before this COVID crap.
Gotcha.
I think back in the day we would try to reach 30,000, but I think we normally would average between 25 and like 27, 28,000 feet a day.
Which is a lot of board feet.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Rick. Go ahead.
I mean, if I can get in the loader, that's what I'd love to do, because the time just flies by. But if I'm in the mill, I'm normally on the trimmer all day. And to a degree, that's fine. But if I'm on there for like days on end, it starts to get annoying.
Comes monotonous.
Yeah, like I'll listen to music or the podcast.
I was gonna say, you better be streaming Sweat and Grime, baby.
Dude, I'm all caught up on that. I'll go back and re-listen to some of the episodes, like when Rick here got COVID.
Oh yeah.
COVID boy.
No. Rick gave us COVID and then turned around and had the audacity to blame us for giving him COVID. I want to set the record straight there.
How dare you do that?
Yeah, I don't know what the problem is there. So for the record, I've always been a monster man. I've always been the monster man. Brandon just showed me that there's a monster that exists that doesn't make me a tub of lard by having 500,000 grams of sugar in it.
Oh, so you can thank Brandon for that?
Oh yeah, Brandon is the man when it comes to the white monster. Right. So, and I'm gonna for the record, I'm gonna lay it all on the line. Like, Black Monster is superior still, but White Monster isn't bad enough to make me want the Black Monster and deal with like
the ramifications.
Oh my God, it's got like, I can't remember how many grams of sugar versus the white has like 10. And the first time I spun around and looked the labels, I was like, I don't give a fuck how this tastes. I'm gonna drink it.
Well, I'm willing to try any of the monsters that aren't coffee. I'm not a coffee guy at all.
Yeah.
So I'll try all the other ones. And I used to be the original monster, and then I was just like, oh, let's see what these ultras taste like. And I tried the white one, and I was just like, oh my God, I found it.
And it's blue, which is badass.
Yeah. So, I'm so addicted to it that I drink like 2 cans a day.
Ooh.
I buy them by the case.
How often do you have kidney stones?
I was about to say, he's going to piss a kidney stone the size of a small boulder here in a couple days.
That I'm not sure, but I can tell you definitely one of my other jobs, I got sick. And I was out of work for like a week. And during that time, I couldn't hold anything down. I ended up detoxing from Monster, because I couldn't drink caffeine or anything.
Oof.
It's like a recovering alcoholic.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I was in bed. I had a pillow between my knees because I couldn't lay right. My lower back hurt, and I'm like, oh my God, this sucks. And it's happened twice in my adulthood.
No shit.
Man.
So, and I
Yeah.
oh, dude, Red Bulls will make me piss myself so fast.
What is happening over there?
Have
I
you
don't
seen
know,
a doctor
but,
in
like-
the last 3 years?
You know why Rick likes Red Bull? I'm just gonna out him right here. It's because the can's narrow enough that you can fit it up your ass. That's what it is.
Yes, he
Yeah.
does.
After he finishes his can, you
Oh,
see Rick
man.
disappear for a couple minutes. He comes back in a much better mood. He always wants to ride the bounciest machine after his Red Bull.
Look what I can do. Look what I can do.
Oh, man.
Anyway, so the sawmill, the sawmill.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you
It's a
do
great
that's
gig.
so daily operations. You went through that. So what if you were to move on to something else in the mill itself? What would your next station be or task? What would you want yourself to be titled as, other than a trimmer? For say, or a loader. Is there anything that like catches your eye that you want to move advance to?
Definitely the loader, and I had that spot when I was younger. I ended up having the head loader guy can be a jerk, and he finally broke me down one day, and I just had a meltdown, and I was like, I can't do this, so they pulled me off of it. But I'm now one of the backups for the mill, so I can do it when I need to.
So you're like
But
the
I'm
relief
not-
pitcher. Going
Yeah.
back out to all the baseball fans by the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Yep.
Man, the puns. We're going down a dark road here of
Nailed it
dad
out of the
jokes.
Yeah.
So
Good old baseball.
now I do have a question from a rookie ignorant on this industry. You keep talking about the trimmer. What exactly does the trimmer do at the sawmill?
So, let's say we've got a log that is, we go from 8 foot up to 16 foot. Let's say we have a log that's 14 foot.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt will probably understand this a bit more, but out of that 14 feet, only 12 of it's good because we've got weighing on both ends of it.
Yep.
Or like one end is thinner than the other because the log's frozen and the saw moved.
Gotcha.
So out of that 14 foot, 12 of it's good. So what the trimmer does is, as the board is coming into the trimmer, I'll take a look at it and I'll see, the 12-foot laser is where it ends on being good. So as it's going into the trimmer, I will press the 12 saw, and
it'll
the
account
12
for that.
and that particular saw will drop.
Just the tip.
Yeah, just a tip.
So let's back up further. Take us through the process of a log through the mill, because again, I'm totally ignorant on sawmills. So
I know nothing other than
let the audience kind of know, and me, what happens to a log as it goes through the mill.
All right. There's times where it'll come straight off of the log truck because we're in that species and we need to get it done.
Yep.
The log truck will take it off of the truck, put it on the ground. The loader will come in, scoop it up, and either put it in the designated species pile. So if we're not doing that species, it'll sit there till we need it, or it'll go straight into the mill.
And why do
on a deck?
Why do you process different species at different times?
Well, because you do bulk of this and bulk of that. You want a bunch of hardwood flooring, or you're doing,
because
it's
certain
easier to
species take longer to dry.
Ah, okay.
And on a quick side note, we have things called stickers. They're little pieces of wood, probably about a half an inch thick, that will lay in between all the pieces of wood, whatever,
to allow the air to flow through there.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
So, like red oak, pine, and some of our other softwoods will use a dark sticker, so there's no air grooves through it, so it'll sit flat. both hard and soft maple, ash, and I forget what else, use airflow. So it's the same sticker, but it's got little groovy nubs to them that allows air to go through it so it doesn't stain the wood.
On that particular spot where the sticker's through. I gotcha.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So then you pull from those
so
piles.
yeah, you pull from a certain species pile. What happens to the logs then?
It'll go onto a deck, and we'll run it through the metal detector.
Make sure there's no nails or anything.
Make sure it's not carrion.
Yeah, right.
God forbid he's part of my family, you know.
Oh, I love it.
We've exactly.
I'm so afraid this is going to be one of those podcasts where something's taken out of context down the road.
They're like, oh man, they're racist.
Yeah, these guys are a bunch of racists.
Yeah. No, I am far from it, sir.
We got one black listener.
My name is Whiteman, goddammit.
Yeah. So it'll go through the metal detector, and we make sure that there's no nails, no fucking railroad spikes in there, because that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
Hunters. We've had logs that have been target trees. Yeah. Target trees for, guys practicing their shooting. Barbed wire, arrowheads, tap holes for maple syrup. The only thing it doesn't pick up is stone. So it'll go. So if the metal detector trips out, then we kick it out and we mark where on the log it stopped at.
All right.
And we'll take a metal detector
narrow it down
the log. Yep. And then we'll get a chainsaw and we'll cut it out. Sometimes we can save it and we'll have like a hole. Other times it's a waste and it's firewood.
Gotcha.
So if the log goes through, we count it on another deck, so we know how many logs we do in a day. It gets debarked. It goes to the head saw, and then the head saw will square it up, because sometimes you'll have a nice big perfectly round log, and then there's times where we have a log that's got a nice bow to it.
Serve the curve.
Yeah, you gotta love a nice curve.
Cough, cough, wink, wink. Yeah. So, the head saw will cut it up and make it nice and square. And right next to the head saw is the edger. So as the head saw is making that board to square the log up, the edger guy is right there to catch that piece of wood to edge it so the sides are nice and smooth.
All right.
So that way you can use it for flooring or cabinetry. You don't have any of the wane, as we call it.
Awesome.
Once it's done, they pass it off to we call the resaw or the 4-foot saw.
Now, do they get judged by the grade after it's made into what is going to go into production? After you edge it, you get it all smooth. Do you guys mark it? This is a grade 2, grade 1, grade 3. No, that's for future.
Calm down, Totten.
Yeah,
God damn.
Not to you yet.
This is like
not to you.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers,
Mango tear. Put it in reverse, tear.
I'll shut up now.
No, you can talk. So that's a whole nother operation,
right.
actually.
We'll let you get to that
it'll
part.
All right. It'll go to the 4-foot saw. So he'll cut the log down even more, and then when he can't get any more useful stuff or any more useful wood out of it, he will send it over to the 3-foot saw, which is another smaller saw that'll make it into cants, like railroad ties or pallet size, like 4x4s or 4x6s.
All right.
And he'll also make bolsters, which is we use to help lift the wood up off of the ground when we ship it. They're little pieces of wood, like an inch by 2.5 or 3 inches.
Yep.
So when that's all done, all this lumber is still coming to me on the trimmer.
All right.
So I'm trimming boards like every second, all day long, and I've got to make snap decisions. All right, is this going to make 10 foot? Is this going to make 11 foot?
Mm-hmm.
What can I, how much can I leave on there? I send all that out. And then we've got guys out back who pile it. So we go from 6 foot all the way up to 16 foot. And we have different carts for different sizes. So we have a 6, 7, and 8 foot cart. We have a 9 and 10 foot cart, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Now, are these like railroad carts, or are they just little dollies? Trying to picture this.
Man, no, I don't even know. They, I guess, kind of look more like railroad carts.
All right, yeah.
So good size.
So
we're not talking a Home Depot cart.
Yeah, that's kind of where my brain was at.
Yeah.
What size carts?
No. But they're easy enough to where, like, Brian, after some time, could use his weight to push said pack out by himself. He wouldn't need me to do it for him.
I don't understand if that was like a fat comment. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to take that one.
You weakling.
If Brian threw his heft behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Goddamn, why am I getting called out here?
So from there, the carts, it goes to the next step. What's that?
The next step is
grading.
The stacker shed. No, stacker shed.
God damn it.
We put those stickers down in between all those courses.
Yep.
To allow airflow. So I get so when I'm not on the trimmer, I'm running the stacker shed. So I get to see all the lovely screw ups that the guys make.
All right.
When I'm not in there.
Mm-hmm. Because you're the best. When somebody else is running your spot, it's like, yeah, it's on.
Yeah, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right?
You on drugs?
Probably.
Don't do drugs at work.
Like Rick in the podcast when he spouts off random questions that no one knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Sour Patches.
Damn edibles.
Yeah. So I'll have somebody lay down.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Totten. We forgot we dropped a little acid.
Man. Full circle. I thought we forgot about that.
You were hoping we did?
Yeah.
Family, please stop listening now.
I'm not a druggie, I swear.
Yeah. All right, so you put her in the big house.
Yeah. So I re-sticker all the wood that our guys did. And then another loader comes and picks the wood up and then sets it outside, and it'll sit outside to air dry for however long it takes. And then our yard guys, who one of the other bosses, David, they'll put them in the kilns, which are like big heating rooms, and it'll suck out all the moisture. So we'll go from a board that could be 1.25 inches thick down to like 1 1/8 inches or more.
All right.
And that could take, I think, anywhere from, I think they said 7 days to like a month or so.
Oh, wow.
Depending on the species.
What are they driven off of? Are they like natural gas, or what are you guys using to fuel those kilns?
Propane. The employees that weren't working out.
Yeah. Oh my God, that would be great. We have a boiler system.
Oh,
so
okay.
I think I told you before we got on that, or maybe even during, we use all of our materials. So all the sawdust and all the wood chips, we put into a big boiler and we burn it. So all that steam and all that, stuff we use to heat.
Yeah, being very, recycling the waste.
Yeah.
Who says logging can't be environmentally friendly?
Yeah. Chop the trees down.
Like,
Ruin our
Like,
planet.
yeah.
Then burn it.
We rape the world, but we use every last drop.
We do. We honestly do. You know, and yeah, we have electricity coming in, but to run our kilns, it's it's all the wood chips we're burning.
Wow.
Carbon neutral, baby.
So yeah. So if we're down for 2 days or 3 days and we don't produce any sawdust,
You're kind of screwed going forward.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where all the.
It looks like you're stuck with some wet wood.
Yeah.
Yep.
The list goes on at the jokes we can make when it comes to lumber.
Yes.
Oh, that's some mighty big wood you have there. You need help handling it?
Oh, yes.
So then it goes from the kiln, and what's after the kiln?
The grading shed, which is where we grade the lumber.
We finally made it.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah. So our grader, who is one of the best, she's been doing this for I don't know how many years. My very first day at Whiteman, I was in the grading shed, and I looked at her, and I said, "I can do your job."
Ooh.
And I should not have said that.
And you didn't end up in the kiln.
Right.
Yeah, dude, it's been 10 years. And she is like, "Hey, Brandon, you remember that? Remember your first day here? You told me you could do my job." And I was like, "Yes, Leah. Yes, I do." She's like, "Think you can?" Nope.
You're much better at working with wood than I am.
Yeah.
She can walk into a bar and judge who has the best wood from a mile away.
Got it.
But, so she'll take a look at the wood and determine if there's any defects in it, and then she'll
Right. Do we need to edit the majority of this podcast?
Who knows? I'll find work in the union.
Oh, I was about to say, you've been fired once or twice. You still got that card in your back pocket you can play.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Fucking lob away, baby.
Yeah. You can't fire me. I'm black. I'm the only one you got.
You got 3 weeks. This is my 2-week notice.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm sorry for what I said, Maxton.
Yeah. You said it.
Oh God.
So after Leah checks your wood, where does it go from there?
Hold on. Side story. One of my supervisors, his name is also Dan. And he was going after me over something. He was getting on me. And I turned to him and I said, "Yes, Master Dan." "Right away, sir." And he's just like, "What did you just say?"
Oh, God.
And I'm like, "Yes, Master Dan."
Oh, God.
And he's like,
That was alarming.
He's going to love that. Please, Master, don't put me out back.
And that is a card that you will always be able to hold over just white guys in general. Is you can crack those jokes and you can laugh, and it's gonna make white guys so uncomfortable every fucking time. It's just it, and it'll never get better.
No, it's awesome.
Well.
Like, I think of any possible rebuttal to that, and I'm like, nope, you can't say that. Nope, you can't say that.
I want to thank you right now. Like, so far, my head hurts from the laughing so much, and my earphones are pushing in my cheeks. So it's like, I love it. Thank you for that.
Oh, trust me.
So Leah, so she grades the wood.
She grades the wood.
she grades the wood, and she'll have guys out behind her piling
wood, baby.
Yeah, pile that wood.
So what do you do for a living? I pile wood, baby.
Right behind Leah.
Pile that wood.
I stack it high.
Yeah. So if a board comes out with an F on it, it's a select board. There's no defects, and it'll go in the select pile. If it's a one common board, it'll have a 1 mark on it. It goes in the one common pile. So that's where that happens, and then we band it up, and we just wait for whoever needs it. We have a planer shed that planes it down. So if they need the select pack of hard maple for flooring and cabinetry, they'll go find that particular pack that's numbered, and they'll take it and they'll plane it down, and then we'll put it in retail because we also sell our wood.
Oh, awesome.
And, you know, if Matt motherfucking Totten was in New York, he could come down.
I would come buy your wood.
Matt motherfucking cabinet making Totten.
Right? I like it.
Exactly.
Now, one thing I do have just to give, her name was Leah, you said, was the wood grader. So just to give her full credit, in my mind, she's really eyeballing these boards and really looking them over. Realistically, this is happening really fast on the fly, right?
Yes.
How quick is it? How quick is wood flying at her face?
Yeah, right. She's blind.
It comes a horse at a time.
What was that? I'm sorry.
She can get a pack. She can pull a lever and it'll come down at like a course at a time. But like she can do a whole pack, which is like 29 courses. And
what is a course for those who don't know the industry? When you say 29 courses, what is that referring to?
29 high. So like
no shit. Okay.
Stacked. All right, gotcha.
Yeah, so like 29. I'll put it in another term. 29 stories high, but we call them courses.
So how is she able to do that if you're not able to see the face of the board, or does it lay it out in a way?
It goes up to that part.
So, yeah. There's a.
Thanks, Brandon.
Man, my voice really changed.
Right?
It's kind of squeaky. There's a video on YouTube of our sawmill where it's like start to finish. I can send it to you, Brian, later if you want to throw it up.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll put that on the website when we post the episode.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but like she'll bring it in on a deck and it'll be on like a tilt hoist for her. So it'll raise up and then she pulls a lever and it goes up a little bit each time. So like a course drops.
Gotcha.
And so she has a grading stick that'll tell her when she looks at the board, all right, it's 9 foot long and she'll go side to side and it's 6 inches wide. It'll tell her how many board footage is in that particular board, and that'll help determine what the grade is.
Interesting.
It could have a big old knot from a branch that's rotten, so it's a big hole through that board.
Yep.
And that'll drop the grade from our best board is a select board.
Yep.
And then it goes down from there. So it could be a number 2 board, which has a bunch of defects in it, but it's still kind
of a rough carpentry, not going to be seen type stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we have frame stock, which is what you use for your couches. So that's like a grade.
Gotcha. So what happens if Leah's sick?
We have other people that can do it for her. That are not obviously as fast. Like we'll get stuff done, but she's like our top.
The world
grader.
almost comes to an end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brandon's in there stroking every board. Yeah. Ooh, that might be select. I don't know.
I really like this board, Master. Can I take her home with me?
Yeah. So after it goes there, then it gets put into piles for, do you guys do auction? Like, do you guys have a supplier that comes and just takes, like you guys are just giving it to some person, or do you have like a wood auction? Like people come through and buy 10 bunks of it.
Matt motherfucking Totten's business.
All right.
Wants, a tractor trailer load of select and better hard maple forge, 10 foot, 10 foot length. We will see what we have and give you a price, and if you want it, then you'll buy yours. It, and you'll have Brian come down with his tractor trailer and pick it up and take it back to you.
Awesome.
I like how Matt motherfucking Totten is the boss in this, and Brian's the bitch. Like, oh, go pick up that lumber.
I have my feet up on the desk right now. I'm like, this is exactly how
Go
it
get the
should be.
lumber, Brian.
Brian, it's only because I don't have a cool nickname for you. That's that motherfucking
That's true. That's true.
It is pretty sexy.
It is. And once I heard that, I'm like, yo, he's going to be my new best friend.
I
Well,
like
that's
it.
like that's the thing. Everyone's like, why do you keep calling him Matt motherfucking Totten? It's say it one time. Just have it come out of your mouth one time, and you can't stop saying it. It just rolls off the tongue.
Now, some of my family members that have heard this do not like that at all.
And do you know why? Because they haven't said it. All it takes.
Very true.
Tell your mom. Tell your mom.
They'll have to go to
Look,
confession.
Mom, go in your bedroom, close the door, and just say, Matt motherfucking Totten.
This spring, Brian's
I
stealing my
bet you-
truck, and it's going to show up back up at my house one day.
It's going to be
with
wrapped.
a wrap with that.
Matt
I'm like,
motherfucking
oh,
Totten. And then it's going to have an arrow pointing to him sitting in the driver's seat.
Then I got to change all my websites and all
That's
my
it.
company names.
MMFT.com, baby.
Yeah. Trademark that shit.
Absolutely.
I already have.
There you go, buddy.
You're welcome.
You know, you could add another MMMFT, and it's mom of Matt motherfucking Totten. Tell mom that. She might kind of, she'll come
She may
around.
not
We'll get her.
remember it.
We'll or it's just,
You know what?
May 8th. May
Yes.
8th. May the 8th be with you.
May 8th?
Really?
May 2nd.
Whoa. Wait, what?
Joint birthday.
May 8th.
So, okay. So, I've got a son.
Mm-hmm.
His mom's father, so my son's grandpa,
All right.
May 1st. Then it's my son, May 7th. Then it's his grandma, May 11th. And then my birthday is May 26th.
Man.
There's
We're
a
the
lot of shit.
May.
You know what that means? There's a lot of fucking people fucking about
Yeah.
9 months earlier than that.
Yeah.
I was waiting for something better to come, but that was good.
And
I mean,
I've met
it's just
one
simple
other
math.
person- and I've met one other person who I talked to who has the same birthday as me. I know Lenny Kravitz's birthday is my birthday.
Lenny Kravitz is the man.
Lenny Kravitz, man.
He is.
I ate a po' boy
Oh.
down in New Orleans with him unexpectedly at a bar.
Did you
It was pretty
really?
Cool. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. When I lived down there.
That's like not
There
a
you go.
story that you just casually drop and you're
Oh,
like,
it was
oh,
no
yeah,
big
it
deal.
happened. It's
Like,
not a big deal.
I got him on speed.
It's-
Call him in minutes.
yeah,
We're done with the
exactly.
show.
Yeah, my buddy
Well-
Lenny.
Well, here, I will try to outdo you.
Uh-oh.
I worked at a kids' baseball park
Mm-hmm.
called the Dreams Park up near Cooperstown.
Poopistown?
And-
That's what I said. Pooper's Town.
And we've had Roger Clemens come up. I've met him a bunch of times.
Nice.
I've also met professional wrestler Scott Steiner.
All right.
I'm going to
I
outdo you
got
even
an autograph
more.
from him.
I used to work at the
Who?
fucking Olive Garden in Austin, and we had the Undertaker, and he would come in, and he would always sit
Shut
in our
the fuck
back.
up. I'm done with you. I'm done
The
with you.
Undertaker, man. He'd come have dinner with
Dude,
his wife.
He
They'd
is
take the
my
back room.
idol.
Yeah. I didn't even know who the fuck he was because I don't ever follow wrestling. But yeah,
He didn't come
well,
there for
you're-
you. He came there for the endless bowl of salad and
dude, I was
breakfast.
a senior
Yeah.
in high school. Oh, he came for me. he was there to check out that
Dude,
sweet
yeah.
to take
right
you
on
under.
the border of legal ass.
All right, next. All right, let's come back to reality.
I'm sorry. Was that the most inappropriate thing that's
Yeah.
been said in this podcast? Let's be honest.
That was pretty good.
Definitely not the raciest.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We're batting on all. Yeah. Whew. This is a brutal one tonight.
Oh, Brian, it gets even better. I'm definitely wearing your fishnets and ping pong for you.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. So, just the little background for those who are not on the Diesel and Iron channel at all, we have a live stream that we do most Sunday nights. And we have a fairly tight-knit group of guys that always shows up, and Brandon is one of them. And so, Brandon, one of the things we haven't discussed tonight is the fact that you are a snake owner, and we'll get into that here in a
Yes, I
second. We'll get into that. But what has kind of slowly come out of this whole thing is, if we're talking about possibly doing a meetup at some point with all these guys.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And it's generally accepted.
Rick's like, I'm out.
Exactly, yeah. If Brandon shows up, we're all going to be standing around in fucking work boots and blue jeans, and then Brandon's going to pop those doors open in slow motion like a fucking Hollywood movie, and he's going to come out with a fucking boa constrictor around his neck, wearing fishnets and a pink thong, and everyone's going to look over and go, oh, Brandon's here, and go back to talking, because that's just who Brandon has established himself to be.
So in like 3 years, we're going to have like a following of what, like Howard Stern, like the rejects.
Yeah,
that's right.
I'm the gimp in the corner.
So let's get into, because that is one thing I did want to talk about tonight. You are a snake owner. So how did you get into, because I'm, we know each other well enough. I can call you a weirdo and you don't take offense. People who own snakes are fucking weird.
We are.
How did you get into owning snakes?
I remember my mom taking me to a circus up the street.
And there it is.
And where, in Oneonta, we have two colleges. And one of the colleges had a circus come in, and they had all these animals. And my mom said that I could get my picture taken with one. It was like a snake or an alligator, and I chose the snake. And it was a big python, big albino python. And I still have that picture.
So a white snake.
But
I will withhold all of the jokes that just immediately came flooding in.
on. I will give you these jokes on a silver platter. And then, as I got older, I wanted snakes, and my mom was like, absolutely not. You're not having a snake in my house. When you're 18 and out of my house, you can have all the snakes you want. I'm like, that. So I moved out with my girlfriend at the time. We had our son and our daughter, and I was like, I'm going to buy a snake. And I did. I had up to 4 at one point. I sold 2 of them. One ended up passing away, and I had my prize one. I paid like $400 for this guy. And I was like, yeah.
What kind of snake?
He was a coral albino, so he was albino with some like.
Aren't coral snakes the most poisonous snakes in the world?
No. Well, yeah, that particular species, but a coral albino is just the color of the boa.
Gotcha. All right.
There's a ton of species. It's like dogs.
Yeah.
But
dogs are normal.
Snakes. Yeah, well, I'm not normal. I've actually got my eye on some snakes now, but they're like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000.
Damn. Now,
and
so do you just get them and have them as pets? Are you breeding them and selling them on the exotic pet market as well?
I would love to.
So we're gonna see you. What was it, Tiger King? He's gonna be the Snake King. of New
and
York.
all of the eccentricities of Tiger King will
God.
Absolutely be there with Brandon. It's going to be beautiful.
My plan is to breed.
You just leave it there. Just leave it right there.
Anymore.
Yeah.
You're supposed to let the other snakes.
I just, I want to breed.
So.
Giggity.
So I got a pretty funny story. So while I was living up in Alaska, so my roommate that I was living with, he had this. It was like a 9-foot ball python, or maybe a boa.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was only supposed to be a small snake, a boa or something, and it ended up being this giant thing. So his cage was right behind the couch where I slept, and it was just a 4-sided box with a chicken wire fence on top of it, just keeping him out, and we just laid over the top of it. So one day we're all just having fun, and I wake up and I felt something throughout the night crawling on me, but I was like,
ooh,
whatever. It was a long night. And I wake up and all of a sudden Andrew's like, where's the snake at? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Dude, this thing, we couldn't find it for like months. And all of a sudden, one day, we're sitting there playing video games. Here comes his head between the pillows. He had wound himself up in all the coils in the couch and was like try to stay warm.
No shit.
Yep.
So, that happened. And then a couple months later, we lost him again. He coiled himself into the back of the refrigerator in the coils. And dude, it took forever to get him out of there. But anyways, that's my snake. I hate snakes.
I've had one escape on me. I had her in another enclosure to feed her.
They probably could have killed me if I wasn't, a ninja.
Probably. Yeah. Matt motherfucking
Or
ninja.
Matt motherfucking Todd. I forgot about that.
That's right.
I just lost it. Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, I've had one escape. I found her under her enclosure where the heat pad was, because they're cold-blooded animals. So I had a heat pad there. I found her wrapped up under that, and I'm like, oh, that's where you went. Okay.
So what's the biggest snake you own?
I've got currently a female. She's 4 foot.
Okay.
She's about 4 or 5 years old.
That's a small snake.
Wow.
Yeah, she'll
Come on, I'm talking. I had a 10-footer.
Jesus, Matt motherfucking Totten is just dropping bombs here, Brandon. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. You always
Get out of here with your
everybody.
bitch ass snake.
You just wait.
Yeah.
You turn everything off so no cold air, and you just leave one thing on that's hot, and they'll find it.
Yeah. Yeah. Or put out food. It'll find it.
Yeah. Just put a bunch of mice through your house.
So it's like, I was about to say, is it like a miniature version of Jurassic Park? You just chain a little mouse in the middle of your living room, and everybody stands there and waits.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So
I don't know. I feel like we've kind of exhausted the sawmill, and now we're delving into the eclectic world of Brandon Culpepper here.
The exotic. Brandon the exotic.
I mean, so back to the white things. I mean, I don't eat eggs or mayo or cream cheese or sour cream.
You don't eat cream cheese or sour cream.
How about ranch?
No. I love ranch.
Yeah, come on.
What's the matter with fucking cream cheese, man?
I guess the texture, I don't know.
Really? Of all the things we've talked about tonight, you're really going to tell me you can't handle the texture?
Every morning I wake up, I go to Bagel and Bite and get myself a bagel with cream cheese.
With the cinnamon. Oh, God, it's so good.
No, don't. You make my stomach turn. Yeah. So, like, I don't like the texture or the taste of eggs cooked in any way. Mayo makes my stomach turn.
So what do you put on your tuna fish?
I was going to say, do you not eat tuna fish?
I eat tuna fish, but I eat it
fucking dry.
Tuna. No.
Like a man.
Yeah, dude. Or with salt. I'll mix it with salt. Or what Brian turned me on to, those tuna packets.
Oh yeah, those tuna packets are awesome.
Those will get you through the day. Spicy.
Yeah. Yes.
Which, by the way, the sriracha ones.
Oh, the sriracha ones are
Sriracha's, it's good, man.
On fire. But yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like anywhere else. I mean, my other hobby other than my family is monster trucks.
Oh, yeah. Do you have a monster truck?
I wish I had a monster truck. I'm way too poor for that. I work at a sawmill.
Come on. We're supposed to...
And he has expensive snakes.
Yes. That's your problem. You have to get rid of the snakes so you can get yourself a modified monster truck.
Yeah.
So you're into monster trucks. Do you actually have a place where you can go work on them and stuff, or is it more of just a sideline love of them?
It's like a side gig, side hustle. I know enough people in the industry that when they come into New York or into like Pennsylvania I'll go down and do a show with them.
Now, a show is in like you have the boa constrictor and the thong on, and you stand on top of their truck,
next to the truck.
Like you get to work on the trucks.
They don't know about that life.
Oh, all right. So we won't plug their group.
Yeah, they already think I'm weird enough. I don't need to know that.
Wait until they hear this podcast.
So when I remember,
it's
monster
right.
trucks were like my jam growing up when I was younger, and my dad took me to the Silverdome, which is the old where the wonderful Detroit Lions used to play. And oh my God, going there and seeing a Bigfoot, oh dude, that was so cool. That's going way back.
I've actually got a buddy who lives out in Michigan, out near you guys.
All right.
And he knows Jim Kohler, who drives the Avenger.
Nice.
And I got a buddy who works for Jim Kohler. I've got some friends in New York State who own a monster truck. I've got friends all over who work on like a lot of well-known trucks. I've worked with Bounty Hunter and Scarlet Bandit, Jimmy Creighton out in Tonganoxie, Kansas.
Yeah.
He will make you work your ass off, but it is rewarding.
That's awesome.
So what do you do for him?
I crew.
Okay.
Depending on the show, like if it's Monster Jam, I'll come in and I'll help set the truck up. I get a free show out of it.
Gotcha.
While everybody else gets to leave and go home,
you're there helping put it away.
Yeah, going
the behind the scenes stuff.
Got to give a little post show humdinger.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah. That is super cool. So I got a question. Or go ahead if you're finished. What you're gonna say?
No, go.
No, you go. No, you go first.
No, you go. You're that motherfucking tired.
Why, you son of a bitch.
So if you were to change anything, career, hobbies, anything, what would be your dream job?
Oh, I mean, I do want to get into the industry for heavy equipment, so that's like where I want to go.
All right.
But like dream job would definitely I would love to be able to make money and do monster trucks.
All right.
So let me ask, kind of one final question here that kind of triggered off of that. What's holding you back from pursuing heavy equipment right now?
The wintertime.
Okay, fair enough. So are you planning on venturing out here in the spring?
Yeah, the guy that I was telling you about that lived behind me when I was younger, who has a construction business, I just reached out to him today and I was like, hey, I know, it's your slow time, but when do you start picking back up, and are you hiring? He knows that I want to get into the union, and he knows that I applied to our local union.
Yep.
I'm on a waiting list. But with the people that are in there, that are in the union, they're like, dude, go get some seat time.
Yeah.
Well, get some seat time. And also, is your neighbor, is he in the union? He's obviously an owner of a company that's in the union.
He is not. No. He's not in the union.
Gotcha.
But the union reps know him.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, sometimes if you know somebody that is in the union that's higher up, been there for a while, you can usually use them as a kind of a, hey, I know this person. Use your network.
Yeah.
And they can kind of shoo you through the process. The elimination.
I had a guy who helped get me in, at least for the application and the meeting. He was a third generation, but unfortunately, as one of Brian's earlier podcasts about drugs, he got popped, so he left, and I was kind of told that it kind of affected me, but not a lot.
Gotcha.
I'm not quite sure where.
Guilty by association type deal.
Yeah, but I don't do drugs.
Yeah. So, no, but I'm just saying, they look at that person and they're like, oh, do we want somebody coming in that was doing maybe what he was doing? Yeah.
So I'm on a waiting list. I've got 2 years, I think less than 2 now, because my interview was on my birthday of 2021.
And how old are you?
31.
All right. So you got some time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you want to get it now. I'm not saying, yeah.
Yeah, I would love to, do it now. And my job, Whiteman's knows what I want to do, and they work with me when I want to go do monster trucks. If I've got the time and they know I got a show coming up, they will let me leave on a Friday to go.
That's a good employer.
If like we're scheduling a down day and I know like, hey, can I leave Friday? They'll schedule the down day for Friday, so that way they're not missing me.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And they've been there for me for quite a lot through custody battles because I got kids.
Yep.
So I stay there because I know the job. It's consistent work, but I also feel like I owe them for all the stuff that they do for me.
So
we've all been in those seats.
Absolutely. And just for everyone listening, and this is also for you. You and I have had this conversation before, but I do want to say it kind of out loud here for everyone. It's really easy to get yourself in the mentality as an employee that you somehow owe your employer because they've been nice to you. And at the end of the day, it's a business transaction. You're providing labor and they are paying you for that labor. And them being nice to you is just treating you like a human being, as any business should. At the end of the day, when it comes down to the business surviving, you are an employee and you will be cut loose as needed. There isn't any feeling bad about, obviously an individual might feel bad, but the business overall is not going to feel bad about letting Brandon Culpepper
take care
go.
of your bills.
Absolutely. And so what I always like to tell people is try not to fall into that mentality. Absolutely doing your company a favor is giving them proper notice and not just taking off on them. But at the same time, it is not worth sacrificing your career and postponing a career because you feel bad and you want to help your employer out. That's a dangerous mentality to go down.
That's what they want us to feel.
Yeah.
I left Whiteman's most recently, like 2 years ago. I got a job offer from a state college here to be a janitor or a custodian, and I gave Whiteman's a month's notice. The only reason why was because they wanted me to start on a particular date, but I didn't have anyone to watch my kids because my parents were down in North Carolina for a vacation. So I was just like, well, college, do you mind if I start on this date instead when my parents come back? Because my dad worked at that college. And they were like, yeah, no, that is fine. So I was like, okay. I turned around and I went to Dan and I'm like, hey, so I just got a job offer from the state to be a custodian at the college. He goes, and before I could even finish, he was like, take it.
Yeah. Goes, good for him.
Just take it. He goes, Brandon, you've done a lot for us here. He goes, but I can't compete with their benefits in retirement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's
looking out for the better interest of you.
Yeah. And he never had, Dan is the type of guy who's always willing to work with you. But he also realizes that if something bigger and better is out there for you, then go take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's not gonna, try to hold you down, So he instantly told me to take it.
Yeah. That's
and
good.
Him and I have always had the relationship of if I needed something, I would go to him. So, I went and did that job for 6 months, and working night shift just killed me. Like, I never slept.
Yeah.
I never saw my kids.
Not healthy.
And my work started to suffer there. So, goodbye, Brandon. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
And I think it took about a week to get my sleep schedule back to normal. But, like, during that week, I went back to Dan, and I was like, hey, can I come back? Like, I don't have a job anymore. This will happen. And he's like, yeah, start on Monday.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, and I've gone back. I got fired once, and I quit twice, 3 times. So this is my 4th time back.
Gotcha.
But there's never been, like, we don't ever want you back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the next time we want you back on here, we want to hear about your apprenticeship.
Absolutely. I was going to say, because we stay in close enough contact, I'm absolutely going to hold your feet to the fire on this one, and we want to hear updates.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, the guy behind me, Rick, I messaged him. I was like, I've been in one. And he's like, absolutely. He goes, I've got one up at this location. If you want to show up on Saturday at 8, I'll be there. I'm like, all right. So, Saturday morning, there I go. And those were the excavator pictures that I sent you, Brian, back in like April.
That's awesome.
And that was like my first time back in a decent sized excavator.
Yeah.
And I was rusty, but it was, it was his dump site. So there were big concrete pads that he's like, listen, you got a thumb, pick them up, and toss them over the side. That's what's got to happen to him anyways.
Yeah.
So he got, a half a day's work out of me for free, which to me, I don't care.
You got some seat time.
Absolutely. For seat time. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's great.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So, I would love to get into a dozer because I know I need practice in that.
Yeah.
I would love to get into an off-road hauler because that's my other favorite piece of equipment other than a loader.
Yeah. They're a good time.
Yeah. And
those brakes. Holy shit.
I've got to
send you through the freaking.
I've got a hard on.
Oh,
I've got a hard on for Volvos.
On that note,
yeah.
Oh God, that was a perfect spot to stop there in that sentence. I've got a hard on. Full stop.
I got hard on for Volvos, and Brian knows it.
That's absolutely that's something I've been talking with Rick about. We're trying to get into a Volvo just because that's one of the few brands that I don't have any seat time in, but. Ultimately, we are trying our best to get into a Volvo because we need to put it through its paces and compare it. But we'll get there at some point.
Well, you also got to get into it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, you also got to get into a JCB.
Yeah. We'll see when hell freezes over there. Well, that being said, Brandon, we're sitting at like an hour and a half, man. Is there anything you want to plug? Any shout outs you want to give?
To my fiance Evelyn, who's been sitting here making faces at me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Giving you money.
And I was gonna say she's already contributed $3, and I told her in the chat that I get to call you a sugar daddy now.
She's paying
us
you want to keep you out of her hair.
That's right.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Thanks, Brandon. It was great talking to you in person, and for all of those guys listening on YouTube live, thanks for hanging out. Anybody that is on the Apple platform, as always, if you could drop a review for us, give us a rating, that significantly helps out the podcast. Thanks for listening, as always, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode of Sweat and Grime.
Later.